Hey guys, it's Dane at ZIMM'S Guitars, and I just purchased a whole bunch of these Teisco guitars and these 1960s Japanese things. Let me take you back over here and let's get a good look at some of these things. Yeah, so I've just recently purchased, about 10 of these old Japanese guitars. And let's kind of go through them. Look at this one, Gold Sparkle. This one's called the Telestar. But I'm going to kind of just real quickly go through these one at a time. Here's an old Silvertone. Look at those pickups. But just real quick, I'm just going to show you some of these Japanese guitars from the 1960s. Here we go. So here's the first one. Really good condition. This one is called look at this headstock right here, Tempo. So, man, they made a lot of it. Doesn't have the 0 fret. I know a lot of them will have a 0 fret. But the pickups look really cool in here. It does have the cover. And really nice. Made in Japan. There's guys that love these things. They collect them. They're very collectible. Steel reinforced neck. Made in Japan. A Tempo. This one, look at this. This is called a Norma. How cool is that? Have you guys seen anything? It looks like a Silvertone. Really neat switches. Yeah, these are becoming very collectible. It's got the switch right here that says rhythm and solo. Really neat old school knobs on here. A Norma. Look at them block inlays on this one. This one's called a Telestar. Kind of has a Fender-ish style headstock on it. This one does have the 0 fret. You see that on a lot of them. You always see the binding around the neck. Truss rod adjustment right here in the heel that's easy to get to. But this one's got that gold sparkle on here. Pretty cool, right? Look at that serial number scratched on there. They're all made by that same company out there. Mazimoko, I think, was the factory. 1960s, Japan. Yeah, I just recently bought about 10 of these old things. This one says St. George. Look at that headstock. This is pretty cool. I don't see a 0 fret on this one. Look at those inlays. Pretty neat. And then you've got all this chrome down here. Look at those knobs. Crazy knobs. I mean, the Japanese people in the 1960s were making some really cool guitars. Now, they weren't real playable by today's standards, but it scared a lot of the American manufacturers. And I think even Leo Fender, ended up selling away Fender just because he was a little bit worried about how nice these Japanese guitars were. Look at that, a 5-bolt neck plate. Yeah, I've got kind of a lot of these now. This one's a Silvertone. So they sold these out of Sears. This one has the 0 fret on it. Very similar block inlays. They look almost just like the, that Telestar. Look at those pickups, man. There's some people that are getting some of these pickups out of this old stuff, and they're highly desirable nowadays. But just fun collector items to have. Missing the arm. Really neat knobs. They all say V for volume on there. I don't know if this is an original one or not, but it's definitely a cool old school looking knob on there. And there it is. They're all very, very similar. Silvertone. Okay, this next one, this is a Teisco Del Rey. So it still has the badge on here. Sometimes those are missing. It's kind of neat how it has the wood grain here. It's got the 0 fret. You can see there's a bunch of polishing compound, a bunch of dirt in there. I haven't done anything to these guitars as far as clean them up, anything like that. Just had them for the last, it's been a week or so now. You know what? Let me do something real quick. Let me plug this one in. Okay. Let's see if this guy makes some noise. Oh, I had to pick the one that's malfunctioning. But I can see right here this is really loose. So, yeah, I gotta have to go through them and see if I can get them to work. Oh, I'm starting to hear it. It's in there somewhere. But you know what? These things are better for, these are for those collectors that love those weird 1960s, and it's kind of a wall hanger. It's got the really neat pick guard there. And you can get in them and clean them all out. It's an easy job to get this thing up and running and fixed up. Here's another little tiny, this is a Silvertone. I think they call this model a Bobcat. You know what? This is different though. This is the Made in USA, I believe. The Silvertones were made by Harmony. I could be wrong, but it's saying the little tag is Made in USA right there on the truss rod cover. So I guess the Silvertones are American-made guitars. Leave it in the comments. I showed you guys a Silvertone a minute ago, and that thing looks super Japanese. But this one says Made in America, so I'm not sure what's going on with all that stuff. Here's what we're going to do though. Let's see if this one, let me grab my cable. Sorry about that expertise camera work there. Let's see if this one makes some noise. I'm hearing something. There it goes. Still has the plate over the bridge. And it looks like it's got a floating bridge. That might be pinned down though. And look, you can see somebody ran the little ground wire under here. Some of these pickups are the gold foil ones, but yeah, a little Silvertone. I bought, like I said, I bought about 10 guitars. And the Silvertones were in them. I'm sort of confused on if these were made in the USA or if they're made in Japan, because they look like the Japanese stuff. Here's another little Harmony. It looks just like the Silvertone. It says Made in USA on the truss rod cover. But this one does have those gold foil pickups. Let me grab my cable and plug this one in. Ooh. Not too bad. We're getting something out of it. Everything just needs sprayed out a little bit. But yeah, so there's another little Harmony. I think that's called the Bobcat. So it's a little collection of guitars from the 1960s. You got the Harmonies in there. You got the Teiscos. The Teisco Del Rey. Now, you know what's kind of weird is sometimes these companies from the 60s, people rebrand the name. And I think that this name, Teisco, I think somebody just purchased the name and has started making pedals out of it with this brand on there. Look how tiny this thing is. Probably weighs in at about 3 or 4 pounds. Now there's a few more that I bought from the same guy. But this one here is a Hackstrom. So this is made in Sweden. Nice looking little guitar. It looks very, very similar to the guitars that were built in Japan back in the same era. Looks very similar to the silver tones and the harmonies. Lots of switches. This looks like it's straight off of a US, or just straight out of a Strat right there, that knob right there. But yeah, Hackstrom. One more I'm going to show you real quick. Here's another Hackstrom. This is the Hackstrom 12. Made in Sweden. 12 strings on there. Actually, though, I'm missing a couple. But yeah, it looks very similar to that last one. So a nice little collection of guitars from the 1960s. So there you guys have it. Ventura, an old Epiphone from the 60s that I've... No, actually this is early 1970. But there's another Hackstrom down here in white. And those two silver tones, well, the silver tone and the harmony that look identical. And I guess those are American-made ones, but I could be wrong. What do I know, right? So I just wanted to show you guys real quick some of these old guitars that I've gotten. Thanks for watching. Hey, so there it is real quick, a bunch of old guitars from the 1960s. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day. See you guys.